I had my gastric bypass surgery in 2006. When I walked into the operating room, I weighed 377 pounds. That reflected a 13-pound loss. I weighed over 400 pounds, but the scales back then didn't go above 400. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or more is what I weighed at my heaviest. And they ask you to, do your best to go on a liquid diet or protein diet, for the 2 weeks prior to the surgery, which I did, and walked in the operating room at 377. That was in 2006. It is now 2023, and I'm finally at the lowest weight since perhaps the late 1980s. I stepped on the scale the other day because my clothes felt kind of loose. I felt a little smaller, and I weighed 224. I'm thrilled about this because I have not been paying attention to my calorie intake. I've been very busy with work and my YouTube projects. What I did eliminate for Lent was nuts. I eliminated nuts. No, the consumable ones. Sorry. Peanut butter, mixed nuts, peanuts, no nuts, no nuts. No little sugar-free candies that contain nuts. No nuts. And I'm maintaining the no cream in my coffee until Lent is over. And then we'll see about reintegrating that, cream in my coffee. I learned from watching a very good video that when you're doing keto, sheep milk and goat milk products and the milk itself, preferably raw if you can get it, are excellent for keto, even better than raw cow's milk. So we'll see. I also ordered some MCT oil. That helps with keto. So yeah, I was surprised that I'm like, let me just weigh myself because I really should. And maybe it'll be good news because things feel loose. But if it's not good news, I need to get back on track. My inner voice is a delight at all times. I was down to 224. I am 24 pounds away from Wonderland. Yeah, well, it only took me how many years? But I will get there. I'm a slow bloomer. Not even a late bloomer. I'm a slow bloomer. I started college when I was 30 years old. I didn't go back to college. I started college at 30. P.S. These are my real glasses. When I say real, I am not wearing contacts with the reading glasses over them. These are, I guess they're the progressives, right? Let me test them. Yes, they are. Amazing. A gift from Dad after he passed. Thank you, Daddy. Braces and glasses. So, long-term weight loss surgery. That's a new phrase that they've been advertising with. Long-term weight loss surgery. Now, weight loss surgery has been around for decades. And the lap band that I had put in, it was an adjustable gastric band in the very early 90s. It was one of the first in the FDA trial period to get the adjustable gastric band. Not a lap band. They gutted me from stem to stern. Huge railroad track up the middle of me. It was Dr. Lubomir Kuzmak, rest his soul. He meant well. So, yeah, I've been having weight loss surgeries for a long time. Why are they suddenly calling it long-term? Well, because this is an industry, a multi-million... What year am I in? Multi-million. Multi-billion-dollar industry. They treat it, they look at trends, they look at numbers. And when people slow down, fewer people are getting these weight loss surgeries, and they're asked why. Well, because I hear from other people that it doesn't last forever, it doesn't last long, you gain the weight back. And if that's the primary complaint from people who are considering the surgery, Well, they have to come back. No, no, no. This is long-term weight loss surgery. And since we're calling our product long-term weight loss surgery, if it doesn't work on you, you didn't use our product correctly. When are you going to realize they are not on our side? And by they, I mean the big they. I've dealt with many compassionate doctors. I've dealt with some abusers too. But overall, my surgeons have been deeply kind people. One of my orthopedic surgeons, teased me about my weight. But I'm like, would you say that to a big football player, like some famous NFL linebacker was on your table? Would you make fun of him for his size? He laughed. He got it. I love him. I love that particular surgeon. So he had something to say. Yeah, fine. I get it. I was difficult because I weighed so much. I get it. I get it. But look who's thriving now. The left knee bothers me a bit, but the more weight I lose, the less it bothers me. I think I can solve that problem with further long-term weight loss. Listen, I am telling you from experience and from sitting around in support groups with people who have had these weight loss surgeries. Please behold the necklace of the day. Thank you. That it's a struggle. For some, it's a struggle from day one because they don't get the restriction that they bought this surgery for. The tool, they call it a tool. Here's a tool. Get your family on board with eating smaller portions, all of them. And if somebody needs more calories, give it to them in a shake. This is ridiculous, where you have to carve yourself up as a tool. I have carved myself up to the point of how much danger am I in my future if I don't do everything to ease and soothe and cool off all the inflammation that's inside my digestive tract. The recent wake-up call that helped me break this plateau was, the new medical records, and that's what they were called. When a representative came to my house and gave me a $50 gift certificate for sitting with him so he could fill out the new medical records. Digital, of course. All for the purpose of tracking us and incentivizing whatever medical interventions that we are prescribed. And if we try to refuse them or choose a holistic path, we will be punished financially. Just quote me. And when you see it coming, be like, oh, yeah, she was right. Anyway, so, so I hopped online, and there's several apps that people are using these days. My Chart is a popular one. We'll see which one is the one that wins out. And in my overall profile, it said severely obese. I'm like, do you know how much weight I've lost? I wrote a book about it. I wrote a book. At 224, I am still a candidate for more weight loss surgery, Ozempic, whatever else they want to jack into me as a tool to help me lose weight rather than, and they do ask. Look, I'm not saying that doctors don't ask. He was not an intern, the one above an intern, the resident who was treated me. He did ask, so do you have any support? It was more in reference to that I declared depression as part of my profile. And I said, yes, I do. And, he kind of checked that off and, nothing more was mentioned about it, but at least he asked. Could you imagine if support groups were provided by the medical establishment and insurance paid for it? And that was the intervention? Because talk about a long-term income from that. How about we use healing people? Emotional intelligence. Emotional soothing so we don't overeat. Well, I need an appetite suppressant. You're not eating because you're hungry. Who are you kidding? I don't eat because I'm hungry. Once in a while, I could map it out. If I'm in a fully relaxed eating state, not trying to restrict or do anything, and just measure when do I eat, And how hungry am I when I prepare food for myself? I would say 8 out of 10 times I'm eating because it's time to eat and I feel entitled. I'm bored. It's the time to eat that's convenient. I just need a little nosh. I'm feeling snacky. I'm angry and food makes me feel better. Like, if we were honest and tracked that, it's not our appetite that's making us eat. And I'm telling you that what appetite suppressants have done for me, it's made me a little nauseated, a little queasy. So I don't want to eat. They don't make hunger go away. They make my stomach uncomfortable. So eating isn't quite the thing I want to do. But after a while, the only thing that calms the nausea is some sort of nice milkshakey type thing. So, yeah, good job, appetite suppressants. So, long-term weight loss surgery. How do you make it work long-term? You acknowledge that you're buying time. The weight loss surgery is buying you time. Bariatric surgery is not a permanent weight loss solution for most people. You can eat around it. You can stretch your stomach back out. You can discover, what they call slider foods. What are the slider foods? I don't know, milkshakes, mashed potatoes, soups. These are very highly calorie dense foods that go down easy, even with a compromised intake system. I look at some of these Starbucks drinks. That's a full-on day's worth of calories, some of these. Oh my goodness, with the whipped cream and the shaved this and oh my goodness. It's a lot of stuff happening. Now, can you make a lower calorie version of it? Sure. There's sugar-free, whipped cream. There's, sugar-free syrup, sugar-free, but, you're putting a lot of that fake sugar in your body. Also, not a great idea, but better than, being severely obese with type 2 diabetes and arthritis and joint issues. So, if you need a little Splenda, or I hear monk fruit is good. It's more expensive, but I've tried it. It's good. Stevia tastes very minty to me. Not a huge fan. But yes, there are lower calorie versions of the giant Starbucks hoop-de-doo parade float latte with whipped cream, whatever. A lot of calories, man. You have weight loss surgery? That goes down super easy. Oh, you can't afford a $12 concoction from a fancy coffee joint? How about a milkshake from McDonald's? Don't they have the McShamrock or the what do they give us at this time of year? There's a shake for every time of year. It's just different food dye. Maybe a little squirt of some sort of flavoring. I don't know. Cookie Opus, remember that at Carvel? Let's get a Cookie Opus. In my severe, heavy binge eating days, I could put away a Carvel ice cream cake. No problem. Slider food goes down easy. But the nausea, oh God, it's just soybean oil. It's just bad. I would be very sick if I tried that today. And I wouldn't, because I would make a healthier version of it if I really craved some sort of wacky dessert. But I've been doing very well with plain yogurt with things in it that make me feel good and sated. Great Lakes collagen hydrolysate is an excellent collagen protein supplement that I stir into the yogurt. If I don't use it, I start getting, the rough skin, my nails peel. I can't afford to have that happen. Long-term weight loss surgery, long-term bariatric surgery. Try to find something you could do to move, even if it's just a little bit. I watch these poor people on these supersized shows. Oh, my heart breaks how mistreated they are. They're bedridden. I remember one girl, the bed had just grown into her skin. Oh, I am so sad about that. Having to cut away the mattress from her body because it is just... How do we let things get so bad? And because it's an obese person, It's like, well, it's her own fault. And help is less likely to come. I've seen these shows where they had to break down a wall of a house to get the person out. And then the surgeon comes along. I forgot the guy's name. He colors his hair very dark. He's fooling no one. And he scolds the person. Don't you think shame and feeling bad is what got them into this situation in the first place? They are so emotionally damaged and sad and unhappy. Then the enablers, because of course these people can't buy their own food, even though with all the delivery services now, there was a woman. She had the delivery guy come right to the bedroom window to bypass her family who was trying to do an intervention. She didn't care. She had a credit card and a phone. She's going to eat. But I've been around addicts and enablers, and the addict can make the enabler miserable if they don't deliver their drug of choice. Alcohol is particularly demonic in that sense. I had a bedridden friend. My heart breaks. Who had MS. She was a heavy alcoholic. And she would just scream and abuse her husband until he gave in. I'm not saying he was a gem of a person, but to shut her up, yeah, she'd get her pint of vodka. And she'd pass out and he'd have some peace to do other terrible things online. It was just a very enmeshed, unhappy, depressed atmosphere. And that's what these houses look like to me when they go on these 600-pound life shows. And they want pop. Soda pop. How many calories are packed into one fountain soda? P.S. fountain sodas are the best. They're fizzy. You can put a ton of ice in it. Oh, what a delight they are. I know. I'm not saying they're healthy. I'm saying they are a delight. But they're not looking for Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, or Diet anything. They want the pop. And they're sedentary. They can barely move. And then put on top of it whatever food they're eating for the day. And they're usually on public assistance. Their income is low. What are cheap, filling foods? Carbs. Rice. Pasta. Go to the dollar store. That's now the $1.25 store here by me. And now they've added $5 items. Yeah, times they are changing. But what are the cheap foods? Ramen, canned crap, macaroni and cheese, and even if you can't afford the milk and the butter to make it, just make it with water. Margarine. Margarine's cheap. It's industrial waste oil. Yeah, let's put the margarine. Long-term weight loss surgery will not prevent margarine-soaked pasta and rice from getting into your body. It just won't. It's a slider food. You can eat around it. So they call it long-term weight loss surgery. So if it fails, and you can make it work, by the way, you can use it as a tool. I did. But just a tool. You cannot pick up a hammer and expect the nail to nail itself in from across the room. You have to walk over and pound it every time. Pound it, pound it. So when my weight was creeping back up again, because I've hit several plateaus since 2006, I had to find ways. So I have found ways. Ideally, I'd be carnivore. Ideally, I'd be, full keto carnivore. But I like to eat. I like my salads. I like to crunch. Vegetables can be very inflammatory if you're not careful. I get it. But you give me that mashed cauliflower, the texture is just like pastina, and it comforts me. So if that's what you're looking to do, if you're looking to do long-term bariatric surgery, please watch accounts like mine on YouTube. Real people talking to you. Because you look this stuff up and it's all the doctors. It's all the surgeons. I'm like, wow, look at all this. You're right at the top of the search, huh? How much did you pay for that? I'm still struggling to monetize. Well, they're selling a very expensive product. Listen to people like me. How did we make it work? Do we regret it? At first, I did regret all these surgeries, but now I understand they bought me time to get my head together so I could enjoy long-term weight loss. But this is a recent renewal of my commitment to get the weight off. I don't like having pain in my ankles. I don't like having flat feet. I don't like having arthritis. I despise type 2 diabetes. I can't wait to get that A1C. I can't wait. It's going to be wonderful because they're going to think it's that way because of the metformin. But I'm not taking the metformin or the Trulicity, which I haven't used since way back in 2022. Will they say keep up the good work? Maybe. Depends which resident I get. It's a long story. But it depends what doctor I see. Some of them might be like, this is wonderful. And then they'll spend the rest of the time pushing some sort of series of vaccines on me. Well, look, there's an incentive, and they're incentivizing the vaccines now. You know that, right? I'm not talking about the one that starts with a C and rhymes with bro kid. I just mean in general. Things that we didn't think we'd need boosters for. I had to get a booster on my mumps, rubella, polio, the big mix that they give you when you're a little kid. I had to get an update on those as a grad student. And a TB test, and yeah, but that was decades after I had my initial dose. Now there's some sort of program. They want you every year to be getting updated shots, and there's these combo shots, and they are giving you bonuses. Look at the reduction you'll get on your insurance payments if you get this series. All right, if you tuned out because I started talking about shots, I apologize. Look, long-term weight loss surgery is a product. If you believe you can make it work, then maybe it's good for you. I needed it to stop me from killing myself with food, but it only did that for the first year and a half. And then it was all on me, and I was not prepared yet. I hadn't learned to self-soothe. I hadn't learned to draw boundaries with my abusive certain someone in my family. I'm just recently learning to overcome codependency and enabling and people-pleasing and helper-fixing. Many overeaters have these issues. I hadn't been back faithfully to Al-anon, which is just an excellent program for me. And I have had addicts and alcoholics in my life who qualify me for that. I hadn't found that yet. I hadn't found my little life hacky things like, mashed cauliflower and giant cabbage salads. I don't have any cabbage in the house. And it's so cheap. You get a bag for $2.50. And lemon juice, lime juice, a dash of pomegranate juice, teaspoon of olive oil, Morton's pickling salt, and some good black pepper. It's amazingly satisfying. Filling and all that crunchy, gets all that tension out of my jaw. I hadn't recommitted to movement every day, and you're thinking I exercise, like I stand in front of the TV and do something. Yeah, I'll get there. Yeah, what I do is I go outside and I pick up 10 pieces, a minimum of 10 pieces of litter. And I did that already today. I am winning at life today. And now I'm going to go and sit at my computer and do work on YouTube stuff, work on school stuff, knock things off my to-do list, remember to breathe deeply. I have guest speakers coming to my classes this week. So it's a light week for me, and I'm off from one of the schools. I wish I could enjoy the lightened workload, but I'll just replace it with other work because I want freedom. And creating passive income is freedom. So good luck with your decision on long-term weight loss surgery. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Since they put you on a diet before the surgery, if you could stick to that, why do you need the surgery? I couldn't stick to it, so I got the surgery. So line up the help you're going to need post-op if you decide to go with this surgery. Everyone I know, most people I know who have had weight loss surgery have gained at least half of it back, if not all. I see their pictures because I look. Have I? No. I am losing more. So maybe I have something valuable to say. All right, be well. Please leave me a comment, subscribe, share this with somebody who might need the help and advice. Leave me a comment, even if it's just a heart. And take care of yourself because you deserve to be taken